Welcome to the Rebel Rabbi. Today we will discuss what is the Talmud. The Talmud is one of the Jewish works that is the most widespread and is studied in universities across the world because it is known for its intellectual debates and the way it dissects a concept from its source. Now, where did the Talmud originate from? The Talmud is a book which is based on the Mishnah. The Mishnah, which we have a whole nother video explains what it is the oral Torah, which was given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai. And it was supposed to be given verbally from generation to generation, explaining all of the details and logistics of the commandments and traditions which are given in the Torah. Now, many years later, after the temple was destroyed, the Jews started to forget this oral Torah. So their head rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda, decided to write it down so it should never be forgotten. Now, throughout the years passing then, the Jewish people were having different arguments and different communities and different customs about how exactly and what exactly the rabbis meant when they wrote down the law of the oral Torah, the oral Bible. So the Talmud is a compilation of all of the discussions from all of the rabbis in different regions of the world who had different opinions and different traditions of these laws in the oral Torah. The Talmud additionally expounds and brings sources from the Bible, brings sources from the prophets, brings sources from the scriptures, and even brings sources from commentaries, and is filled with stories and beautiful traditions, complicated and very complex conversations, and goes through a wide variety of topics from mathematics to building to, very lofty things of like angels and demons. One thing that's so interesting about the Talmud, and as yeshiva students who are learning to become rabbis across the world, studying the Talmud for 10 hours a day, is that the way the Talmud is constructed is through debate, argument, and conversation. Each concept can be argued and battled out by different rabbis with different views and different opinions until they get to their answer. And in some cases, there is no answer. They say we will have to wait till the coming of Messiah, and Elijah the prophet will have to answer himself for this case. And there is also so much beautiful stories with so much detail and so much emotion and color and drama, which adds so much flavors to our favorite Jewish stories in the history of Judaism. There are many interesting debates in the Talmud, and some of them are even relevant till today. For example, when could we go to war? For which reason are we going to war? And what do we do with the captives of war? There was also a fierce discussion in the Talmud about sex. Does sex need to have rabbinic supervision the entire time? I'm just kidding. There's also many interesting discussions about Jesus and the different opinions from the rabbis, the story of what happened with him. And we will have a whole nother video just on Jesus and what it means for the Jews. There was also discussions about abortion and all different rulings in Judaism. Until today, people still argue and debate the Talmud, how it applies today in our days. And that's how we came up with the Code of Jewish Law. The Code of Jewish Law is a synopsis of the entire Talmud. The first person to do it was Maimonides, the Rambam. He made a synopsis of the entire oral Torah with the Talmud and brought us, for those days, the modern day-to-day guide based on the Talmud, and now it has been revised from different rabbis around the world to compile the Code of Jewish Law, which tells us how to live our lives based on the Talmud, which is the oral Torah given to Moses at Mount Sinai. Just to give you an example to tie everything together of how the Torah, the Bible, and the oral Torah is structured, it says in the Bible you should pray to God. Comes along the oral Torah and tells us we have to pray by night and pray by day. Now the Talmud discusses what time in the morning is the earliest time to pray and when's the latest time to pray, by night and by day. That's just one small example of the evolution of all the commandments and what is discussed in the written Torah and what is discussed in the oral Torah and what is dissected by the Talmud and all of its commentaries. Thank you for watching The Rebel Rabbi. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments down below.